Why do we hold on? Buddhist wisdom on non-attachment. The weight of holding on. Why do we hold on so tightly to things that slip through our fingers? Buddhist wisdom for a lighter heart. There are moments when we feel the weight of the world, clinging to a job, a relationship, an idea of who we are. We grip tightly, hoping to keep things as they are. But that grip often leaves us exhausted, anxious, even lost. What if the secret to freedom lies not in holding on, but in letting go? Not in apathy, but in a gentle release that opens us to life's flow. This is the heart of non-attachment, a core teaching in Buddhism. It's not about giving up what you love, but about loving it without chaining it to you. We all know the feeling of wanting something to last forever. A perfect moment, a cherished person, a sense of security. But life doesn't work that way. Everything changes, sometimes slowly, sometimes all at once. And when we cling, we suffer, not just from change, but from our resistance to it. The Buddha taught that this clinging, this attachment, is the root of our pain. But he also showed a way out, a path to freedom. Today, we'll explore what non-attachment really means, why it's so hard, and how it can transform the way we live. We'll look at practical steps to loosen our grip, not to lose what we love, but to love it more freely. Because when we stop clinging, we start living. The roots of attachment, why we hold on. In Buddhism, attachment, or upadana, is more than just liking something. It's the mental habit of grasping, of saying, "This is mine, and it must stay." It shows up everywhere. We cling to our plans, hoping they unfold perfectly. We cling to our self-image, fearing failure or judgment. We cling to people, afraid of losing their presence or love. And it makes sense, caring feels natural. But the Buddha saw something deeper. Attachment isn't just caring. It's caring with a demand that life obey our wishes. And when life doesn't comply, we suffer. The Buddha called this dukkha, the unease that comes from wanting things to be permanent in a world that's always moving. Think about it. A missed deadline, a fading friendship, an unexpected change. They sting not just because they happen, but because we expected otherwise. We built a story in our minds about how things should be. And when reality disagrees, we feel betrayed. Modern psychology backs this up. Our brains are wired to seek stability. It helped our ancestors survive. But today, that same wiring makes us treat uncertainty like a threat. A text left unanswered, a plan gone awry, and suddenly our mind is racing. We're not just reacting to what's happening, we're reacting to the gap between what is and what we want. The Buddha's insight was simple but radical. The problem isn't the change. It's our attachment to things staying the same. So how do we break that cycle? That's where non-attachment comes in. Not as a cold detachment, but as a way to live more fully in the present. Non-attachment, what it is and isn't. Non-attachment doesn't mean you stop caring or become distant. It's not about living like a monk in a cave, untouched by the world. Instead, it's about holding life lightly, like sand in your hand. Grip too tight, and it spills. Hold it gently, and you can carry it longer. The Buddha taught that non-attachment comes from seeing reality clearly, seeing anicca, or impermanence. Everything arises and passes. your thoughts, your feelings, your possessions, your relationships. When we accept this, we stop demanding that life freeze in place. And that shift changes everything. There's a story about a monk who carried a beautiful clay cup. He loved it, but every day he'd say, "This cup is already broken." Not to be grim, but to remind himself, it's impermanent. When it finally broke, he wasn't shocked. He'd already made peace with its nature. Non-attachment is like that. It's not about rejecting the cup, but about loving it without needing it to last forever. This doesn't mean you don't feel pain. Loss still hurts. Grief is real. But non-attachment means you don't add a second layer of suffering, the pain of fighting reality. As Thich Nhat Hanh said, you must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. That's non-attachment. Love without chains. Care without control. Practicing non-attachment, a path to freedom. So how do we actually practice non-attachment? It's not a one-time fix, it's a daily habit, a way of meeting life. Let's start with mindfulness. Mindfulness anchors us in the present, where attachment loses its grip. When you're caught in worry, what if this goes wrong? Pause. Notice the thought. Feel your breath. Ask, is this thought true right now? Often, it's just a story your mind is spinning. Mindfulness lets you see thoughts as clouds passing through, not as facts. Try this. Next time you're anxious, sit quietly for a minute. Feel your breath rise and fall. Notice how the worry comes and goes, like a wave. You don't have to chase it or fight it, just watch it. Studies show mindfulness reduces activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center. It's not just spiritual, it's practical. Another practice is reflection. Each morning, take a moment to remind yourself, everything I have is on loan. Your health, your home, your loved ones, their gifts, not guarantees. This isn't morbid, it's clarifying. It helps you cherish what's here without clinging to it. Then there's metta, or loving kindness meditation. When we send goodwill to others, may you be happy, may you be free, we loosen the tight focus on ourselves. Attachment often comes from fear. What will I lose? Loving kindness shifts the focus to giving, which frees us from that fear. Finally, act with intention. Non-attachment doesn't mean passivity. If you love someone, show it, call them. Listen, be present. If you have a goal, work toward it. But do it without tying your happiness to the outcome. As the Dalai Lama says, be kind whenever possible, it is always possible. That's non-attachment in action. Care deeply, but hold lightly. Living lightly, the freedom of non-attachment. When we practice non-attachment, something beautiful happens. Life feels lighter, not because problems disappear, but because we stop carrying their extra weight. Imagine holding a bird. If you squeeze too hard, you hurt it. If you open your hand, it might fly away, but it's free. Non-attachment is that open hand. You love. You act. You live, but you don't demand that life bends to your will. This freedom changes how we experience the world. A sunset becomes more precious because it's fleeting. A kind word carries more weight because it's a choice, not a demand. Even pain becomes less heavy when we stop fighting its existence. The Buddha's teaching of non-attachment isn't about escaping life. It's about diving into it with open eyes, knowing nothing lasts, but everything matters. Because life is temporary, every moment is a chance to live fully. To love without fear. To act without clinging to results. And in that space, we find peace, not a peace that depends on everything going right, but a peace that holds steady through life's ups and downs. So, why hold on so tightly when freedom is possible? Non-attachment isn't the end of joy, it's the beginning of a deeper joy. One that flows with life instead of against it. Take a breath. Notice this moment. It's already passing, but you're here for it. And that's enough.